It is absolutely insane. Mid-April, and we are here on the brink of frickin' Spring Chinook season. I know people have been fishing for a little while now, but here are 3 of my absolute favorite setups that I like to fish for Spring Chinook. Welcome back to Walking on Water Fishing. This is another tutorial on how to set up my 3 favorite Spring Chinook setups. Welcome, let's get right into it. First things first, I like to run a 30-pound fluorocarbon like this P-line right here. And I like the 30-pound. It might be a little overkill, but I do like the 30-pound because it has some rigidity to the line. And some of these Spring Chinook setups, they either use the water to spin the setup itself, or they're just a spinner-esque type setup, and I like a little bit more rigidity when I'm running stuff like that, so I get that nice spin even when I'm going a little bit slower in the water. And so I always have my trusty tape measure here, and I like measuring out right where I like to be, and that's around the 3-foot mark. Anywhere around the 3-foot mark, you're looking pretty good. And most of these setups, if not all of these setups, you guys, are going to be with a double non-slip mooching rig. If you want to learn exactly how to tie up this knot, head over to the channel, Walking on Water Fishing, and there's an in-depth video on exactly how to tie up this setup. Super good, super common knots to know, and it's good to have those things in your tool belt. So we're going to get right into this. Of course, we're going to be pairing every single one of our setups with a beautiful Short Bust Super Series flasher. And no, I am not sponsored by JT or Short Bust, but I absolutely love their products. They have just innovated the flasher game, and I love catching fish with their products. We're going to start out with this leader around the 3-foot mark with our double non-slip mooching rig. And the first setup, one that we've talked about really recently, is we're simply just going to grab us 4 beads. And I like the 6mm chartreuse beads for me personally. And I have a variety, if you will, of beads that I use. And this one just so happens to be chartreuse. And so we're going to grab the 3 beads out, just like the 3 beads. We're going to grab the 4 beads out and put them on our line, just like so. Then, like we've talked about very recently, we're simply going to grab an Oregon Tackle plastic clevis, just like so. We are going to grab our clevis and we are going to put a 3.5 or a 3.0 blade on it, just like that. And this is what we call a 3.5 prawn rig. Now, these are Millennial Coon Shrimp. There's a bunch of different brands of coon shrimp out there. Millennial does coon shrimp right. They care about their product. They're coming out with new products. They're innovating the coon shrimp game, coming out with mulches and so on and so forth for various other baits. And so always go with a high quality bait. Both of these first 2 setups are going to be coon shrimp setups. This is a coon shrimp rig with a 3.5 Simon Colorado blade that's hammered on there. And also, these setups are super interchangeable. All I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this 3.5 blade off, just like so, and we're going to get right into our next setup. This is a super simple setup when everybody's running the 3.5s. Be that guy that changes it up just a little bit. And I like switching it up to something a little bit more subtle. So I'm going to go ahead and grab one of these 1.5 McLure Smile blades, just like so, with adding one more bead, put a 5th bead on there, grab you a McLure Smile blade, just like so, pop it on there, and now you have setup number 2, still a spinner-esque type setup, but it's just a more subtle presentation in the water. This thing will spin, and you can also tune this. If you want it to spin slower, flatten it out, just like so. It's a little bit flatter. If you want it to spin faster, give it a little bit more of a bend, just like that, and this thing will spin just how you want it to all day long. Now, these are both paired with coon shrimp, a good quality coon shrimp like we just talked about. Now, let's get into the third and final setup. This is going to be a short and sweet video, guys. We are on the cusp of fishing. We are packing up, prepping right now, putting these leaders on our leaderboard, and so we can go down and bonk some amazing Spring Chinook. So our third and final setup that absolutely dominates the Spring Chinook game on one of my favorite rivers to fish is the Brad's Kokanee Cut Plug. Yes, I have not fished a Brad's Mini Skinny for Spring Chinook because they only just came out, and Spring Chinook season, my season, is just now getting ready to start. And so in the past, I have had great success on the Brad's Kokanee Cut Plug. And now we are going to take our leader just like so. We're going to turn this bad boy over just like that. And you can see there is 1 and 2 little notches on the bottom. And so I like to measure out how many beads it's roughly going to take so I can have a nice setback behind my Kokanee Cut Plug. And so this one's looking like 4 6mm beads need to go on the line so I can thread, if I can get these beads on, the Kokanee Cut Plug on the line and have a good setback for my hooks. I'll talk about what a setback is for hooks in just 1 second when we actually get the bait on. Now we're going to flip this over just like that. We're going to put that through the first hole. If we can get them in here, let's pop the rubber band off. Always makes it easier. Gonna pop it on there. Pop it up through the big one, just like so. So now we have our line up through those 2 notches. Then you're gonna find the little hole on the back of the bait right here, and you're gonna feed the line up through the hole. Just like so, and down. Okay. As you can tell, our setback is a little bit farther back than I would have liked. And so what we're going to do is we're going to pop this off. And you guys, there's a couple different ways to do this. Now, my setback is probably perfect, actually. I just threaded my bait on there a little bit differently than I wanted to. You can either opt in to go through the little one in the back right here, or you can just go through the big one up front to hold that bait on there. And that's really what I wanted to do. I wanted just to go through the big one up front. Go ahead and feed the line up through that hole again. Pull it tight. And now we actually have a perfect setback of these hooks on this Kokanee Cut Plug. Now, with these hooks are for video purposes. These are both 1/0 hooks. I would generally run a 1 and a 2 hook in the back. And those are small hooks. A lot of people don't run that small of hooks for salmon. I personally do. I have my reasons. And you probably have your reasons for running the size hook that you like to run. And so now that we have this threaded on, this is a ready to go setup. We're going to pop this on our leaderboard just like that. Now, Millennial Coon Shrimp has a mulch that they had come out with of coon shrimp ground up that you can put in these bad boys. I also have a couple different recipes on my site, Walking on Water Fishing on YouTube, by the way, for different tuna brines that you can run in these beautiful little Brad's Kokanee Cut Plugs that will absolutely put fish in your guys' boat. And so go check those things out because those tuna brines have done really well for me in the past. So that was a very short and sweet video. I hope you guys learned a little bit of something. And you guys, these are not fluff setups. These are setups that I'm going to literally put on my leaderboard and I'm going to go down there and fish. So if you want a good chance at success when you are going out spring Chinook fishing in a fishery that uses coon shrimp and Kokanee Cut Plugs like this, then this is the video for you. And I want to thank you guys so much for being here. If you guys enjoyed this video, hit the bell notification, subscribe to the channel. Go ahead and join the private fishing Facebook group, Walking on Water Fishing, if you guys want to talk to me there. I'm on there posting a lot. As well as if you want to support the channel in any other type of way, you definitely don't have to by any means, but I do and have started a Patreon, and we are going to be posting early access videos on there for people that are interested in stuff like that, as well as in a few exclusive Patreon members only videos. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Walking on Water. I will see you on the river. God bless you. Tight lines. Let's go catch some fish.